Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Shimad, His Divine Grace, Sri Lesi Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Bhagavad-gītā Srimad Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Gokishore Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai, Srila Thakur Bhakti Vinod Ki Jai, Sri Guru Parampara Ki, Srimad Gita Upanishad Ki Jai, Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotee, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Go Premananda, Hari Hari Go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So all together please. Om Jnana Timarandasya Ganandana Salakaya Chakshurun Bilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yukta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Sarvadutam Prijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padang Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha He Krishna Kirana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gobesha Gobika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapcha Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sudadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, reading from Srimad Bhagavad-gītā as it is. Translation and commentary, Srila Prabhupada. Text 26, content of Gita summarized, which is the second chapter. So, please repeat. Atha, cainaṁ, nitya-jātaṁ, nityam, va, manyase, mṛtam, tathāpi, tvam, mahā-bāho, nainaṁ, śocitum, arhasi, atha cainaṁ nitya-jātaṁ, nityam va manasye mṛtam, tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho, nainaṁ śocitum arhasi, atha cainaṁ nitya-jātaṁ, nityam va manasye mṛtam, tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho, nainaṁ śocitum arhasi. Okay, go ahead.
nitya-jātaṁ, nityam manyase mṛtam, tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho, nainaṁ śocitum arhasi. atha cainaṁ nitya-jātaṁ, nityam va manyase mṛtam, tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho, nainaṁ śocitum arhasi. atha cainaṁ nitya-jātaṁ, nityam va manyase mṛtam, tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho, nainaṁ śocitum arhasi. atha cainaṁ nitya-jātaṁ, nityam va manyase mṛtam, tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho, nainaṁ śocitum arhasi. nitya-jātaṁ, nityam va manyase mṛtam, tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho, nainaṁ śocitum arhasi.
Okay, word for word, please repeat. Atha. If, however, cha, also, enam, this soul, nitya-jātaṁ, always born, nityam, forever, va, either, manyase, you so think, mṛtam, dead, tathāpi api, still, tvam, you, mahā-bāho, O mighty armed one, never, enam, about the soul, śocitum, to lament, arhasi, deserve. Translation, Srila Prabhupada. If, however, you think that the soul, or the symptoms of life, will always be born and die forever, you should still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Please repeat. If, however, you think that the soul, or the symptoms of life, will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Purport, Srila Prabhupada. There is always a class of philosophers, almost akin to the Buddhists, who do not believe in the separate existence of the soul beyond the body. When Lord Kṛṣṇa spoke the Bhagavad-gītā, it appears that such philosophers existed, and they were known as Lokāyatikas, or Vaibhāṣikas. Such philosophers maintain that life symptoms take place at a certain mature condition of material combination. The modern material scientist and the materialist philosophers also think similarly. According to them, the body is a combination of physical elements, and at a certain stage the life symptoms develop by interaction of the physical and chemical elements. The science of anthropology is based on this philosophy. Currently, many pseudo-religions, now becoming fashionable in America, are also adhering to this philosophy, as are the nihilistic, non-devotional Buddhist sects. Even if Arjuna did not believe in the existence of the soul, as in the Vaibhāṣika philosophy, there would still have been no cause for lamentation. No one laments the loss of a certain bulk of chemicals and stops discharging his prescribed duties. On the other hand, in modern science and scientific warfare, so many tons of chemicals are wasted for achieving victory over the enemy. According to the Vaibhāṣika philosophy, the so-called soul or atma vanishes along with the deterioration of the body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is no atomic soul, or he did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament. According to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished every moment, then there is no need to grieve for such incidents. If there were no rebirth for the soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid of being affected by sinful reactions due to his killing his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically addressed Arjuna as mahā-bāho, mighty armed, because he at least did not accept the theory of the Vaibhāṣikas, which leaves aside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture, and it behooved him to continue to follow its principles. Mukam korochi vācālam pangam naitegirim yad kripa tamaham bande Sri Guru Dinatarinam. Atha cainaṁ nitya-jātaṁ nityam va manyase mṛtam tathāpi tvam mahā-bāho nainaṁ śocitum arhasi. If, however, you think that the soul, or the symptoms of life, will always be born and die forever, you still have no reason to lament, O mighty armed. Yes. So this is Krishna giving yet another argument why Arjuna should perform his duty. Already Krishna has enunciated the absolute truth, that the soul can never be damaged. The soul can never be cut to pieces by any weapon, or burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. So all the four gross elements, the four grossmost elements, they can't damage the soul. This individual soul is unbreakable, insoluble, and can neither be burned or dried. He is everlasting, present everywhere, unchangeable, immovable, and eternally the same. It is said that the soul is invisible, inconceivable, and immutable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. Right? So that leads up today. So the soul is eternal. As Krishna, he gives a big long list, and then he says, eternally the same. So we know that by our own personal experience. We are the same person we are now that were when we were children. The body has changed, but we are the same person. We feel the same sense of identity. So that goes from now to eternality. Of course, eternality means the absence of time. But that means your sense of identity that you're feeling now, I am me, I am this individual, that will remain eternally. So we are only conditioned, we've discussed this before, through consciousness. The soul emanates consciousness. The sun emanates sunlight. You can change the sunlight, but you can't change the sun. So you can change the consciousness or affect the consciousness under the supervision of the Maya Shakti. The consciousness of the soul becomes entangled in the three modes of material nature in their subtle and gross manifestations. Consciousness becomes polluted. But the soul is eternally the same. The pollution does not reach the soul. And the point is made here, the next verse actually. Yes. One who has taken his birth is sure to die, and after death one is sure to take birth again. So the soul is transmigrating according to this material interaction. His activities, his karma, and his calm, his desire, they navigate him under the supervision of Paramatma through the material energy. There is one verse, yes. Yastvindra gopam atavendra mahosva karma bandha nuropam phalam atanoti karmadi nirdahiti kinchu chabhakti bhajam govindam adi purisham tamaham bhajami. Yes, that is text number 54 in the Brahma Samhita. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, Lord Brahma says, who burns up to their roots all fruitive activities. So this interaction, this mixture of calm, desire, our choice, our independent choice, and karma results in fruitive activities. That means, what is fruitive activity? This is an interesting phrase. You'll find it in the Vaishnava literature, but you won't find it in the material world. It means activities that lend a material fruit. Activities that lend a fruit. The example is given that you plant a seed and the fruit of that plant will come later. So activities are like that in the material world. Generally, the result of activities in this life, they are enjoyed in the next life. Though, of course, there is still some enjoyment of the result or suffering from the result in this life. So that's fruitive activities. Material energy works action and reaction. As we all know, the simple understanding of karma, what goes around comes around. As you sow, so you will reap. Whatever you do, you will get the result. So, Krishna is saying here, burns up to the roots all the fruits of those activities of those persons who are imbued with devotion. Karmadi nirruti kinchu bhakti bhajam. But then, those that aren't performing bhakti, pure bhakti, even Krishna purifies the neophytes also, but here he explains that those that are not interested in bhakti, they're walking the path of karma and jnana, mental speculation and gross activities, then he impartially ordains. That means as super soul, he's observing everything, and then he impartially ordains for each the due enjoyment of the fruits of one's activities. So he's very impartial, Krishna. Samaham sarvabhuteshu. He doesn't have a chosen people. He's just impartially, he's not to say that Krishna favors one group of person over another would be the fault of partiality. Krishna is equal to all. Samaham sarvabhuteshu. And then of all those who walk in the path of work. So if you don't perform bhakti, then you are in the path of work, more or less. In accordance, what are those fruits? So it's clarified here. In accordance with the chain of their previously performed works. No less in the case of the tiny insect that bears the name of Indragopa than that of Indra, the king of the Devas. So whether you're an Indragopa germ or you're Indradev, you will still get the result of your activities fair and square, you can say. Right? So this is a very interesting thing. There's also that verse, Krishna says, Ye tam mam prapadyante tam seva bhajamiyaham. So you're either surrendering to Krishna directly through spiritual master in the form of bhakti sadhana or bhakti bhav, or you are reciprocating with Krishna in the material energy. Everyone follows my path in all respects. So this is this is good information, because then we know, I will chant 64 rounds on Ekadashi, and I'll only drink warm water with honey and lemon. A little austerity is good, hot season, no problem. Then you will get the fruit, for sure. But if you don't, if you just sleep all day in a Ekadashi, I'm tired, I need some chapati, then you will get that fruit too. So this is good information. Krishna is not just favoring the pure devotees, he's favoring everyone. And this advice should inspire us. I'll do the right thing. So there's that verse later on. Pramanas tad sadacharas tadabhyasa nirantaram bodhayan atmanam bhaktimapyutamam labet. That the highest devotion is attained by constant endeavor for self-realization, constant, by the help of pramana, scriptural evidence. We should learn Siddhanta, Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan Rasatatva. And sadachar, we should develop good character. That means regulative principles, not being a gossiper, a rumor monger, being generous, kind, being a sadhu, sadachar, good behavior. And then nirantaram, perseverance in practice. Those three things. And that will give us, by slow degrees, liberation from the material energy, an attachment to Krishna, Lord Chaitanya and their devotees. So the result will come. But we have to walk the path. The Guru, the Shastra, the Acharyas, they show the path, but we have to do the walking. We have to do the work. We shouldn't have the Messiah syndrome. In these man-made religions, there's often an idea, there's a Messiah coming and he's going to rescue me. And so now I can just watch the television. What's on the television? Good sports program. India beat Pakistan. Oh, it's good. Don't worry about the future. I'm going to be liberated because the Messiah will come. No, we have to be our own architect of our own destiny. We have to understand that. So that is inspiring, right? It means that if I do the right thing, I will get that result. And impartial burns up to the root. So then all the fruitive activities, all the pāpa and punya in the past, that will be yene rivinda, that will be burnt up. And we may get some reactions here and there, but we just continue with our devotion to Govinda. And then by that devotion, that constant nirantaram, we inherit the spiritual kingdom. So we should always remember this. We should be inspired by this. I have to get it together. I have to get fired up. I have to realize that everything is in my own hands. Prabhupada once said, we're all flying our own aeroplane. I can radio instructions, but your hands are on the joystick. You can go up or crash into the mountain. So this is something we have to realize. As they say, you have to take responsibility. So anyway, that is bhakti in short, and that is the benefit of the Shastra. It clarifies these issues. But as far as today's thing, we understand, that one of Arjuna's main arguments was that, I don't want to do the killing. It'll be bad karma. But Krishna is explaining that is mundane. That is mundane morality. It's based on bodily consciousness, therefore it's illusory. You are a spirit soul. You are mahā-bāho. You are part of the Vedic culture. You have a responsibility to act accordingly. And Vedic culture is based upon the understanding that I am the soul. And my soul is mama angsha jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. And my prime responsibility is not to the body and mundane morality, but it is to Govinda, to the Supreme Lord. And that point is illustrated nicely in the Bhagavatam with the story of Maharaj Bharat, right? Maharaj Bharat, he retired to the forest to do bhajan. He was a king. He thought, now all this diplomacy and this and that, now I'm going to go to the forest, I'm going to do my bhajan. And it's explained in the Shastra, Acharyas have explained, that he was practically on the platform of bhava. That means he's just going from sadhana bhakti to bhava bhakti. After bhava bhakti, prem will come. But a lion or a tiger was chasing a deer, and that deer aborted the fetus. And the fetus was lying there, struggling for life, as the tiger and the deer went away to do their work in the forest of material world. So he took care of the deer. In English they call baby deers fawn. So you're fawning on somebody. It's an expression. It means you're being soft and kind. And deers are deer. They have nice cute eyes and they snuggle up to you. So he forgot his spiritual practice. Gradually, his affection was not for the Supreme Lord, bhava bhakti, not awakening mama angsa jiva loke, he became manashastra indriya, he became controlled by material affection for the deer. And that caused 2 more lifetimes. It even caused a lifetime as a deer. And it's explained in the Bhagavatam there that as a deer he would sit closely to the sadhus as they discoursed about Krishna. He didn't forget. He was highly elevated, nearly bhava bhakti. And then in the next life he was Jad Bharat. And Jad means dull. Or he didn't recognize, he knew. In the past, I refrained from pure sadhana for mundane attachment. So now the blinkers are on. I'm just going to think about Krishna. I'm not going to make any mistake. So they thought, oh, he's dull. He doesn't converse. He doesn't converse with people. He doesn't talk. You know, he wears simple clothes. He sits under a tree chanting japa or something. He's Jad Bharat. Huh? But actually he was a great Paramahamsa, and he'd learnt his lesson. So the Maya Shakti is always there, side by side with the Chit Shakti, and he was concentrating on the Chit Shakti. He gave up the mundane affection. Another example right at the beginning, Sukadeva Goswami, right? He didn't bother with his own family worship. He left. His father was Vedavyas. He left. Oh, I'm not staying here. My mother will tie me with the rope of affection. That's what Narada Muni says in the Bhagavatam. He was tied by the rope of his mother's affection. Oh, I have to respond to my mother's affection. So, but then she died by snake bite. Then he practiced. And then Sukadeva Goswami. So this attachment to the Maya Shakti, this will pull you back to rebirth. So it is very dangerous. So how does the Vaishnava act? The Vaishnava acts with compassion towards the entangled spirit souls. He sees that Krishna is within their heart, but they are in a material body. Sava upadiverne mṛtam. They're thinking male, female. I am male, female. I'm old, I'm young, I'm beautiful, I'm ugly, I'm rich, I'm poor. They're all in this pisachira kole. They're all in this dream sequence of the Maya Shakti. So what does he say? Jeev jago, gora chandra bole. Kota nidra. How long will you stay sleeping in the lap of Maya, illusion? Pursuing mundane morality as the solution to the problems of the world. No, the Vaishnava knows that there will always be birth and death in this material world. In one purport in this locality, Prabhupada said there is always war and fighting in this world. You always need a police force. Every country needs a police force. Not everyone is a sadhu. You always need a defense force. You always need an army. We're in near Matsara Paramo. We're in the land of Matsarya. Everyone is envious. The Maya Shakti is not just giving result, but everyone's envious. If you're good at something, people become envious. If you have something, people become envious. They become envious for no reason at all, because they're frustrated. So this is Tamagun, Vaishnavas and people in mode of goodness. They don't have so much contamination. But the Vaishnavas understands the nature of this world. You may go on a safari in Africa, but if you open your eyes, beyond the sunset, you see that all the animals are eating each other. It's a place of birth and death. And so Arjuna, he's scared, he's using this birth and death as a reason not to perform his duty. So Krishna said, now you understand, Arjuna, that you're eternal. But in this section, these couple of verses, Krishna is saying, even if you don't believe you're eternal, even if you don't believe in the soul, and you believe that life or consciousness is generated just because the chemicals and in the body are generating consciousness, and when that body dies or malfunctions, that person is finished. This is atheism, right? And it's very interesting to note. Prabhupada in the purport there, he says, this idea that we're just born and we die and that's it, the lights go out. He says this is the Vaibhāṣikas philosophy, Vaisheshika, one of the 6 darshans. But it's very interesting. Prabhupada said this is the modern scientist's idea. It's not a new idea. This was around in the time of Arjuna. People were thinking, all this Vedic stuff about the soul, this is all just hot air. We die, we're born, and we die. Now, this is a very dangerous philosophy, right? Like in Karl Marx, he wrote, for the progressive evolution of society, certain races must be cleansed. And he even mentioned the Basque race, there in northern Spain on the border of France. And he said the Slavic people, they have to be consumed in the fire of evolution, social evolution. So if you think that we're just chemicals that are reacting and creating symptoms to life, then there's no restraint on your behavior at all. We say, if the Vedic system says, you better behave properly because what you sow you will reap. What goes around comes around. But if you believe, like the communistic, atheistic philosophers say, that they're just chemicals, then you can do anything. You can kill. Like even in Manu Dharma, man-made religion, one religion they say, thou shalt not kill. So that idea is there even in man-made religion, but if you remove all concept of the soul from religion, as Prabhupada says, the nihilistic, non-devotional, Buddhistic sense, there are devotional Buddhistic people. They worship Buddha and they want to become a Buddha like Buddha is, a well-perfected person. But and Buddha in his philosophy, he said, don't talk about God and the soul. That will not help you on the path of liberation. You must understand there's 4 truths. There's suffering, cause of suffering, relief of suffering, and there's absence of suffering. And you get that through the Eightfold Path. And he said, all this talk about God and the soul, put that aside. It'll not help you on the path of liberation. He didn't deny the soul. And also Buddha, when he sat in Bodh Gaya, I believe it was, under the tree, it's explained that he remembered all his past lives. It's very interesting. When he became enlightened, he remembered all his lives as an animal, as a creature, as a this, as a deva. So hidden within Buddhism is belief in reincarnation, and that can only be the soul. And that was one of the questions. One of his disciples, close disciples called Anand, he asked the Buddha, this man, he's suffering with disease, broken leg and all the rest. Is it because of actions in this life or in a previous life? So Buddha answered, don't ask about this kind of question. That will not help you about the soul. Don't discuss about previous lives. In this life you act to get liberation. So he didn't deny the soul, but he stressed you must behave nicely. You must walk the eightfold path, right? Right thought, right action, right speaking, right charity, right contemplation, right goal, so on and so forth. And then you can become enlightened and be a Buddha. And when you're a Buddha, then you will be enlightened. So he didn't deny, he dismissed discussion of the soul on the side. So then nowadays people in the Buddhistic countries, they like Thailand, Laos, Japan, of course they're into animism a lot, they worship the Buddha. You go into a Buddhist temple and there's a Buddha there and everyone is praying to the Buddha. And they're trying to be good like the Buddha by becoming the Eightfold Path. So anyway, that is the cleverness of Krishna. He didn't teach pure theism, but he said, oh, don't worry about God. And now they're worshipping God in the form of Buddha. So it's a trick. So in all these religions, there is the idea, do not kill, don't perform, that the soul is there. But Arjuna is being told by Krishna, even if you believe that there is no soul, still you have to do your duty, because you're part of the Vedic culture. And we stress performing your duty to Bhagavan, because your prime duty is not moralistic behavior. That is good. That will elevate you maybe to mode of goodness, coming out of passion and ignorance. But your real conception should be, your real morality should be on the basis of what Krishna wants. And that is pure bhakti. In Sanatana Shiksha, so Krishna is giving this point, but he's calling Arjuna back, mahā-bāho, come back to Vedic culture, don't be a sentimentalist. You, in Vedic culture, Parikshit Maharaj, again in the Bhagavatam, he was cursed to die in 7 days. He was powerful enough to renounce it, but he accepted it. And he went, and the sages gathered there on the bank of the Ganga. Was it, or Jamuna? I'm not exactly sure. Huh? Huh? Yes, Ganga. And he said, I have a question. What is the duty of a man about to die? The answer was, Ante Narayana Smriti, to remember Narayan, the shelter of all souls, Narayan. So what is the duty? So his concern, even at the time of death, was my duty, not my spiritual duty, not my mundane duty. And of course, when you're faced with death, then things come into focus. Then you don't worry about if somebody is, stealing the flowers out of your garden, because you've got bigger things on your mind. You forget mundane reality might be good, but when you're going to die, you think, my God, what should I do now? So now the foolish ideas, they make movies, right? They make movies. Oh, I'm going to die in 7 days, so let's go on a holiday. Sometimes they have ideas like that. But that's atheistic foolishness. Here, Vedic culture means, what is my dharma? What is my duty? So, right, the sages at Namasharanya, we are gathered here to perform yajna by hearing from you, Sutta Goswami. You were there when Parikshit and Maharaj, Sukadev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj were discussing. You tell us what happened. So, yajna means that. To be doing everything for Krishna. In Sanatana Shiksha, Sanatana approached Lord Chaitanya. He said, Kayami, what am I? And why am I suffering? People say I'm a pandit, but I don't know who I am and why I'm suffering. So Lord Chaitanya told him a story there. He said, look, I'll tell you a story about this astrologer. His name was Sarvagya, all-knowing. And he had, a poor man came to him and he said, oh dear astrologer, Sarvagya, I'm very poor. Why am I suffering? Is there any way out of this problem? And he, the Sarvagya said, well, let me do a few calculations. My God, you're the son of a rich man. But your father, he kept money for you. He's departed now, but he's hidden it in a place. You have to discover that place. So then he said to Sarvagyan, oh, really? I'm a rich man? I have great wealth? Oh, yes, you have the greatest wealth. And it's buried in a certain place. Okay, do some more calculation. Tell me where it is. They didn't have pocket calculators, but I know where it is. Really? Oh, it's that place? Is it? I'll go there. He said, oh, but wait a minute. Be very careful. It's buried in this spot. Now, if you try to dig it from the southern side, you'll be affected by wasps and gats and mosquitoes and scorpions. They'll bite you. And if you try to dig it for it on the western side, a ghost will come and attack you, enter your mind, disturb you. And if you try and dig for it on the southern side, northern side, Uttara, that's the north, right? Then a big black snake, like Aghasura, will come and swallow you, try to swallow you. But if you dig on the eastern side, then a little bit of digging and you'll very quickly be able to get your wealth. So the poor man is told to Sarvagyan, oh, that sounds really good. Tell me, what is all this about south and west and north? He said, well, Dakshina is south. If you go to Karma Kanda, and you pay dakshin to the Brahmins, the Brahmanism, then they'll engage you in karma kanda. And you won't get the wealth very easily at all. It may elevate you a little bit, but you'll have to pay big dakshin to the Brahmins to do yajnas. So, and that will more than likely keep you in the material world. And being, affected by adidevik, adibodhik, adiatmic misery. Oh, okay, I'll stay away from those priestly class that want dakshin. What's all that about the west side and the ghost? He said, well, that's jnana kanda. Jnana kanda means you're going to try and get there by your intelligence, by studying Shastra without really reference to a Vaishnava realized guru, and you're going to just speculate and you're going to think, maybe this, maybe that. This is spirit, maybe this is spirit, maybe this is the right path. And it's like a ghost will enter your mind. You'll be on the mental platform. Now that can elevate you to a certain extent. Here's the western side is what I'm looking. But you may become ghostly haunted. So don't go to Jnana Kanda to dig out this. And now if you go on the northern side, who's this black snake? Sarvagyan, tell me. So, well, this is the idea of the yogis. They want to perform austerities, Ashtanga Yoga, and their goal is to become one with the Absolute, to become one with the Supreme Power, and to gain powers, siddhis. I want to get the siddhis of Paramatma. I want to be able to fly and travel by my mind and reach Prapti Siddhi and get everything and change my form. I want to develop all these ideas. And that's just like a black snake, Aghasura, becoming one. Oh, I don't want that. But if you go on the east side, then you can just dig a little bit. And that is Upasana Kanda. That is Govindam Adipurisham. That is Shuddha Bhakti. And Shuddha Bhakti, what is Shuddha Bhakti? It means that you put aside all ideas for a good karmic result. or a good mental result, or bhukti mukti siddhi karmi, sakale ashanti. You give away these ideas of material enjoyment, liberation, and siddhis within this material sphere, and you just, what you do? Anyābilāsitam sunyam jnana kāmādi anavritam anukulyena krishnānu shīlanam bhakti uttamam. Instead of thinking, what I can get, I'll think what I can do for Krishna. And how can I do that? I don't know Krishna, I'm not realized in Krishna. Then take shelter. O he Vaishnava Thakura, Doyara Sangara, Edase Karuna Kori. Become the servant of the Vaishnava Thakur. Mahat Sevam Dwara Mahovi Muktes. Bhakti Vinod. Shuddha Bhakkata Charana Renu. You take the root of pure devotion is service to the Shuddha Bhakta, the liberated soul. Mahatmanas tamam patha devim prakritim ashrita. To be servant of the sadhana, the directions, the upadesh given by the pure bhakta, and do that as manmana bhavamat, as yajna, as my offering to the Shuddha Bhakta. And then I am doing things not for myself, but for the pleasure of Gurudev. Mahat Sevam Dwaram Aho Vimuktesh. The path to liberation, bhakti, bhava bhakti, muktir hitavam yata rupam swarupena abhavashtiti. If you want your swarup, you serve the pure bhakta, who is nikunja yuno ratikeli siddhai, who is serving in the groves of Vrindavan. You attach yourself, you serve that person. How? Upadesh. Take his instructions, Vishwanath says, as your life and soul. I think it's page... Here we have what? Narottam Das Thakur, yes. Narottam Das Thakur. Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, say Mora Sampada, say Mora Bhajana Pujana, say Mora Pranadana, say Mora Abarana, say Mora Jivana. That you know this. We'll read the 4 verses. So this is Shuddha Bhakti. Narottam. Lord Chaitanya kept praying in the river for him. And when he wrote all these wonderful songs for us to understand the lotus feet of Rupa Manjari, Rupa Goswami's eternal form as a gopi of Vraja. Very interesting. He is serving, pleasing Rupa Goswami in his Manjari form. Now that is serving a Paramahamsa beyond even his material manifestation, of my real wealth. They are the object of my bhajan and puja. So the worship of the Vaishnava is through bhajan and puja worship. They are the treasure of my heart, and they are my ornaments and the life of my life. So that's the premise. They are the reservoirs of all rasa for me, and the fulfillment of all my desires to attain Swarup. Why? The Vaishnava, you're being selfish, you want Swarup. No, I want Swarup so that I can serve Krishna properly, so I can serve the Vaishnavas better. I want to learn to sing so I can sound better. Not so I can enjoy. They are the conclusion of the religion of the Vedas for me, and are the goal of all my vows, austerities and chanting of mantras. They are the purpose of all my religious activities. They are the purpose I'm offering, right? Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji. I'm offering my faithful performance of sadhana to Rupa Goswami. It's my offering, it's my yajna. By the power of those feet, my activities will become favorable to devotion. So I'll become purified by offering, and spiritual perfection will be achieved. And with these two eyes, I will be able to actually see. Vasudeva Savamiti, Siddhi. The exquisite beauty of Sri Rupa Manjari's divine feet will shine like the brilliant moon upon the lotus of my heart both day and night, thus giving relief to my afflicted soul. By the venom of the snake of separation from you, Rupa Manjari, my soul has wasted away, and my life is ever afflicted and distressed. O Rupa Manjari, please be merciful and give me the shade of your lotus feet. Narottam Das has taken refuge. So this is very much like Bhakti Vinod Thakur, right? Oh hey Vaishnava, Gurudev Kripa Bindu Diya Koroe Dase. I'm the servant of my Guru. I'm the servant of the Paramahansa Vaishnava. My sadhana is my offering. I'm not doing sadhana so I can get bliss. I'm not doing sadhana so I can get material fruit. I'm not doing sadhana so I can get siddhi. I'm not doing sadhana so that I become wise and sage. I'm doing sadhana to please my Guru. And what? What is that verse? Sadhanam hridayam mayam. The sadhu is my heart, Krishna says. In the heart of the sadhu, there is nothing but me, Krishna. I know no one but them, and they know no one but me. So, this is the point. Yes, we want anukulyena krishnanu, we want to serve Krishna. But we serve Krishna particularly in the stage of sadhana, when we're not liberated, when we don't have Swarup Siddhi, we serve Krishna at the lotus feet of compliance with the orders of the Paramahansa Guru. This is the mentality. I am not doing my 16 rounds for myself. I'm doing it as an offering. What does it look like? This? Govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship you. I'm doing bhajan. Iti matva bhajanti mam, Krishna says. So this is bhakti kanda, upasana kanda. We're worshipping those divine persons by our compliance with their instructions. As it says in the Chaitanya Bhagavat, Bhajo Krishna, Bolo Krishna, Krishna Upadesha Karo. What is Krishna's Upadesh? Worship the Vaishnava. Take shelter of the Vaishnava. What is that? Is it Adipuran? Of all Aradhanam Sarvesham, of all worship, Vishnu worship is the highest. But higher than worship of Vishnu is worship of the Vaishnava, the liberated Paramahansa. That doesn't mean to say we don't worship the sadhakas or the neophytes. We worship everyone. This is what Uddhava was told by Krishna, 29th chapter, 11th canto. Worship me in the heart of all living entities. That is the best means of self-realization. See me in the heart of everyone. Don't see their upadis. Don't think, oh, this is a body that is of this upadi, this upadi, this upadi. No, see, yes, they are sleeping in the lap of Maya, but they are Krishna in the form of the Angsa and the Paramatma. and see that. So that's what Krishna is telling Arjuna. See that. This is Vedic culture, is to see the soul primarily. And with that vision, act in your sadhana or your bhava bhakti. But even don't do it for your own benefit. Just like the gopis, right? The greatest worship is Lord Chaitanya emphasized this. When they heard the flute song of Krishna, they didn't think, oh, now we can enjoy with Krishna. No, Krishna's playing the flute. Maybe we can go there and serve him. Maybe we can do something to please Krishna. And then in the Ras Leela, what happened? The demigods were playing flutes and running flowers. It was a wonderful night. The gopis became a little proud. Oh, we are the greatest girls in the universe. What happened? Krishna disappeared. Taught them a lesson. He disappeared with Radharani, but I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, then they said, oh, we had the greatest jewel, but because of pride, we lost that. So they went searching. So this is Sadachar, the Vaishnava. Krishna Das Kaviraj, he's writing the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and he's thinking, oh, I'm such a low person. But he's writing the most incredible thing. So this can only be understood through bhava, you understand, not through logic. This is his ecstatic emotion. So that is how, by taking shelter of the ecstatic emotion of these great Paramahamsas, Sri Rupa Manjari Pada, then we become purified. And just by a little digging, we can uncover the hidden wealth. Raja Vidya Raja Guyam Pavitram. Yes, Uttamam. It's Raja, it's the Uttama, it's the greatest secret. And where is it hidden? Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Shrav. Yes. Shravanadi Sudadite Kiridevudai. So we do Shravanam Kirtanam and all the rest. Why? As an offering to Paramahamsa Sri Guru. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So, thank you very much. Any question? Well, it's your association. I'm getting inspired. But this is Vaishnavism. Just a little service to the Prabhupada, Sad Goswami, Narottam Das Thakur. We've got all their great literatures, Lord Brahma here. So we should try to understand not just the philosophical aspect, but the bhava aspect. Philosophy is understood by logic and argument. Yes, this is very good. Krishna's giving logic and argument. But the real understanding that Lord Chaitanya taught is to understand the bhava of these great devotees. To understand the 10th canto and the ecstasy. That's why the Bhagavatam is the Amula Puran, because it is the exposition. Every devotee gives a speech when they're talking to Krishna. Even Queen Kunti, there's another example. She says, I don't understand you, Krishna, but please cut off my attachment to the family. That means the Pandavas. Stop me seeing the Pandavas as my children. Let me see you as my Lord and Master. Let me see you from my spiritual position. So, if we try to understand the ecstasy of the 6 Goswamis, of Rupa Raghunath, of Narottam Das Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, all these great acharyas, if we try to understand not just their philosophy, but their ecstasy, that you see, philosophy is the expression of ecstasy. Ecstasy is beyond words. So they are putting their ecstasy into words. This song that we just read, it is the words born from ecstasy. So the spiritual world is ecstatic. Everything is born out of the ecstasy of the spiritual world. So if we are to understand Krishna, we have to become ecstatic. That is bhava bhakti. So prayojan tattva must be understood. We must understand that the spiritual world is the bhakti rasamrita sindhu. It's the ocean of rasa, ecstatic ras. And that is what we have to perceive. If we can get a few drops from that ocean and keep it in our heart, then perfection is very easy to attain at the lotus feet of the Vaishnava. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So we'll finish at this point. You have one question?
Yeah. As you said, it's all about ecstasy, but you also made another point, that the root cause to get that ecstasy is to, I'm sleeping early because I have to wake up early for Mangalarti to please Krishna.
Yes.
I'm doing Tulsi Arti to please Krishna and devotees. I'm doing Narsimha Arti to please Krishna and devotees. I'm chanting my rounds to please Krishna. I'm honoring Prashad to please Krishna. So every time to ask, how can I please Krishna with my time and energy?
Well, what I'm saying is those things are being given by Guru. So we're doing those things. We're disciples of this disciplic succession of great Paramahamsas. And we are doing them primarily under the direction of Guru, as faithful servants of the order of Guru. You understand? Then it goes directly to Krishna.
But our intention most of the time in doing these things is not.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why we have class. That's why we discuss. So we can become enlightened. And once we become enlightened in this way, whatever realizations you gain, you will never lose. Remember that. So try to become realized. Every realization you have is never lost. So try to realize this vital point, that service to Sri Guru opens the door of liberation and bhava and ecstasy. And therefore Shravanam is very important. Amalabha. Therefore all the acharyas, all the great parama, they've left all this ocean of literature so that we can become absorbed in it. And I was listening to a lecture by Prabhupada, and he was saying, sometimes we're suffering with lust. But he says, if you get a touch of Ladini Vritti, he says, if you get a touch of the transformations of the Ladini Shakti, Radharani is the mistress of Ladini Shakti, then material lust will, Prabhupada uses the word vanish. It will vanish. Because, and there's also in the Bhagavatam, what does it say? Is it chapter 39, verse 35? Those that meditate of the loving affairs between Krishna and the gopis, they will conquer material lust. But first we should have sambandha tattva. We should be purified by knowledge. We should kick out nescience. And then we can understand rasa tattva. You understand? Rasa tattva, you see, sambandha tattva primarily is the relationships between the material energy and the spiritual energy and Krishna in the material world. But some rasa tattva is the science of rasa, you see. So first you have to become liberated from the material affections and conditionings, and then you can have a good idea of rasa tattva. The danger of the sahajiyas is they don't become purified by sambandha tattva, and they go direct to rasa tattva, and then by imagination they project a materially conditioned view of the rasa between Krishna and the gopis, and they become contaminated. They're devotees, but they're not properly going the right path. Yeah, Sajya also can be translated as going the natural way. Oh, instead of loving my wife, I love Krishna. But the emotion has to be from the soul, not from the mind. And this is, and here we are at the root here now of the Gita. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, see things from the point of view of the purified soul, not from your moralistic mind or your mind which is full of material affections. Don't try to think that the love between Radha and Krishna is some kind of romantic, poetic description perfected of the mundane love in this world. No, that is the root of all activity. The whole root of activity, the whole spiritual world at the beginning of the Chaitanya Charitamrita says, Radha and Krishna are one, but that to enjoy the bliss of pastimes, they have separated themselves eternally. So the whole reason for creation is the expansion of bliss between Radha and Krishna. That is, why is there a creation? It is because Radha and Krishna have separated themselves for the purpose of increasing their bliss eternally. So that is the cause of everything. That is sarva cainaṁ. Everything is servant of that principle. And so we as jiva tattva are servants of that principle. That is our function. And the function of the whole creation, whether it is material or spiritual, in every level, is simply a servant of that principle, the love between Radha and Krishna. And Lord Chaitanya is dancing in ecstasy. And the devotees of Lord Chaitanya, they are dancing in ecstasy, worshipping that. So that is the spiritual world. And there's nothing, that is the sarva karana karanam. That is the reason there is creation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So when we chant Hare Krishna, it means please engage me in your service. It means please engage me in that exchange, in interaction of love between Radha and Krishna. Please let me play my normal role, my constitutional role in that ecstasy. That is the call of the devotee. And then we will get the treasure that is actually hidden within our heart. Nitya-siddha Krishna prem sadakabanai shravanadi sudachitte kiride udai. So that's prayojan tattva. Okay, thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada Sadhu Sangha Bhagavad-gītā, Arjuna mahā-bāho ki jai.